Hello, my name is Emma. I'm a practicing Catholic and I'm also going to a different house of worship every week. This week we are going to a Catholic church, but not a Roman Catholic church. We're going to a Byzantine liturgy, which is super exciting. This will be my second non-Western Catholic church that I've been to so far. So super excited for this, and I'll take you along with me. So walking into this church, I didn't know a ton about it. I knew that it is one of the 21 Eastern, I believe, churches of this Universal Catholic Church. So same core beliefs, same having the Pope as the head. We're in communion with each other so we can receive the Eucharist. But other than that, I knew that the service itself would be very different, probably different prayers. But I was really excited to jump in, and something that really surprised me, but maybe shouldn't have surprised me as much as it did, was how similar it was to the Orthodox liturgy that I attended earlier in this project. So I will get into a little bit of that and kind of the comparisons between them. So my first impression, something very interesting, was that this was actually hosted at the Maronite Catholic Church that I attended a few weeks ago. And so twice a month they have a Byzantine liturgy. The cross itself was not a crucifix like you would expect in a Western Catholic church. It was the Orthodox cross, which does not have Jesus on it. It has three beams on it. So there's like the regular cross and then a small one at the top representing the INRI letters, and then a small slanted one at the bottom, I believe representing like the footrest. They had these large golden discs on sticks. They look kind of like large lollipops. I couldn't really find anything online about them, but they were carried with the cross through the processional and then a couple times around the church, kind of like candles. Going in, the mass was pretty small. It was around 25 people. I had no idea what language it was going to be in because the Maronite liturgy that I attended was in Syriac. This one, however, was in English. So it was a lot easier for me to follow through in the book. They had a pretty large book which had the mass parts, and my assumption is that there were multiple different settings for this mass, but they would basically call it a page number and you flip to it. Some prayers were very similar, so like Lord have mercy, the holy, 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 but other parts that seemed to be a regular part of this mass were different. So for example, they said the Beatitudes, they said, I believe it's called the Canticle of Mary. And what I really liked about this was the entire liturgy was sung through, and that was something that I noticed with the Orthodox church that I attended as well. Additionally, something super interesting that I noticed was, so like the Orthodox service that I attended, there was a lot of bowing and a lot more doing the sign of the cross. But this one, they did the Orthodox cross. So in Roman Catholicism, we do left and then right. But then in this service, it was doing right and then left. So they ended with their hand crossing over their body. As for the homily or the sermon, it wasn't actually about the reading or about the time of year. Basically, the priest can talk about whatever he wants. And so this was very cool. This time they were talking about the vestments. So basically, he was in his plain black clothing at that point, and then he started putting the vestments back on. And so he explained the symbolism of a lot of them, and it was very cool because he actually gave out the prayers that the priest says while he puts on these vestments. And so we are encouraged to follow along and embrace our ordinary priesthood, or the priesthood that everyone is called to, even lay people, while we get ready for the day. So we could say those particular prayers or just have the kind of general spirit of putting on the armor of God as we go out to work, as we go out into our lives. The communion was, again, super, super cool. So they did it facing away from us, so it was a little bit harder for me to see. So I was surprised when I realized it was very, very similar to the Orthodox liturgy. They used leavened bread. They placed it into this large chalice and then used a silver spoon to pick up the mixture, basically. And this is the first time that attending another denomination helped me very practically in going to a service from the Catholic Church, because I knew exactly what to do. Like I had seen in the Orthodox liturgy, people holding up I believe it's called a purificator, like the small square cloth right up to my chin. I kind of knew what to expect with the spoon. And I just thought it was so cool that a lot of times, like, I think about this project as kind of spiritually giving myself background on faith and perhaps helping me to understand my own faith a little bit better. But this was a very practical, like, I had seen this done at one church and I knew exactly what to do at this church now. So overall, I really enjoyed this mass. I think that it was incredibly reverent. And I think it really drew that type of Catholic, the ones who would seek out a special type of liturgy on 1:30 on a Sunday. But it was really beautiful. And I loved being able to hear this chanted through. And I think I had had those discussions at the Orthodox church about how it really felt like you were worshiping. And I really felt that in this liturgy as well. And yeah, overall, I was blown away at all these similarities between the Orthodox Church and this Byzantine liturgy. Maybe shouldn't have been surprised at how similar these two churches are given their histories. But I think it is sad that we are different churches officially. We are different denominations. But it is really cool to see these shared traditions, how important tradition is in our churches, seeing a lot of these shared values. And especially in the Eucharist, which is the height of our faith, seeing how similarly that was done, it was really cool to be able to see this continued belief and this continued faith across time and across geographic places. It was really great, and I think this made me even more excited to keep both exploring my faith and exploring other ones as a springboard to understanding my own.